Hello students, welcome to MGC Learning. Our today's topic is Types of Market from Chapter 8 of OCM Subject 12th Standard. Till now we have studied meaning of market, definition of market and concept of market in detail, for which you can go through previous video. Let's move towards today's topic, that is types of market from marketing chapter. Markets can be classified in various ways, such as on the basis of area, time, volume of transaction, importance, nature of goods, regulation system and competition. Area-wise, there are different markets, such as local market, national market and international market. Let's study local market. If commodities are produced in a particular village and sold in the same or nearby villages, is called as local market. Goods sold in such markets are of perishable in nature, such as fruits, vegetables, milk, etc. National market. In national market, goods and services are produced in one particular city and distributed all over the country. For example, marbles of Visakhapatnam have been supplied all over the India. Its distribution is not confined or limited to Visakhapatnam only. Here commodities are demanded and supplied throughout the country. International market. Here commodities are produced in one country and sold in other country. For example, spices. As all of you know, spices of India are famous. So spices are produced in India and sold in our country as well as in foreign country also. For such market, improved transport and communication facilities are required. Here buyer and seller comes from the whole world. These are the biggest market from the area point of view. Second is on the basis of time. So on the basis of time, market has been classified in three types. First one is very short period market. Second is short period market and third is long period market. Let's start with very short period market. Very short period market has very short time existence, usually for few hours or for a few days. Such markets existed at a particular place, at a particular time, and even they are supplying particular products such as highly perishable vegetables, fruits, milk, fish, etc. In such markets, supply remains the same, obviously, because goods which are supplied in such markets are perishable in nature. So, seller can't stock them. So, supply will remain same or less. Next type of market is short period market. These market exist for a short period, maybe for weeks or a month. You must have seen markets during festival season, fairs, etc. Perishable and semi-durable goods are sold in such markets. Third one, long period market. These markets are held for a long period compared to short period markets. The commodities traded in such markets are non-perishable, which can be stored for longer time. For example, food grains, utensils, oil seeds, etc. On the basis of volume of transaction, market has been classified as wholesale market and retail market. So, wholesale market is one in which goods and services are bought and sold in bulk quantity, in large quantity at cheaper price. Wholesaler buy goods in large quantity from a manufacturer and those goods are sold to retailers. In such market, wholesaler plays the role of seller and retailer becomes the buyer. Retail market. Retail market, as all of us know, retailers sell goods to consumer. as per their requirement. So retailer is the last chain of distribution. You can see here chain of distribution, manufacturer, then manufacturer supply goods to wholesaler, then to retailer, and finally goods are consumed by consumer. On the basis of importance, there are three markets: primary market, secondary market and terminal market. Primary market is a market for primary products which we obtain from the earth, natural resources such as agricultural products, forest products, fishing, mining, fruits, food grains, vegetables, all those products which comes from natural resources. Secondary market. Secondary market is dependent on primary sector or primary market, but some processing work is done on those goods in industry. For example, sugar is extracted from sugarcane. In the absence of sugarcane, production of sugar is impossible. Here sugarcane is a product of primary sector, it comes from agricultural sector, whereas processing on that sugarcane is done in industry. So it is related to secondary market. So such semi-processed or semi-manufactured goods are available in secondary market. Now let's see terminal market. So terminal markets are nothing but it's like a mandi with modern infrastructure and amenities where goods are sold to the ultimate consumers directly. On the basis of nature of goods, here market has been classified in two types. One is commodity market, another is capital market. So commodity market is related to consumer goods and industrial goods. Here in commodity market we will learn two types of goods. One is consumer goods which are used by consumers and another goods which are used by industrialists. Okay. So consumer goods are those, it is like some agri based commodities, agriculture goods like pulses, food grains, rice, etc. There are some non-agri based commodities such as gold, silver, crude oil, natural gases, various commodities are there, and these all are used in industry. So they are part of industrial goods. Okay, now let's come to capital market. Capital market is a part of financial system which is related to borrowing and lending of long-term finances. Finances is always required by businessmen. Capital market deals with these finances. So here commodity market is okay. So example of capital market is like shares, bonds and other long-term investment, mutual fund, real estate, etc. So here commodity market is in tangible form, whereas capital market is in intangible form. On the basis of regulation, two types of markets are there, regulated market and unregulated market. Regulation means some restriction. So these markets are regulated by statutory provision of the country. The government and other organization control and regulate the market. For example, taxation policy. Through taxation policy, it means everyone has to pay tax. Labor laws are framed. Why? To protect laborers from exploitation. So these all comes under regulated market. FDA, Food and Drug Administration. Again some restrictions are there on food producers. Okay, whatever they are producing, it has to be of good quality. No maladulteration has to be done. SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, which is related to stock exchange. EPA, Environmental Protection Policy. Every organization has to keep this policy in their mind. So whatever goods they are producing, it has to be produced in such a manner that our environment should remain neat and clean. Okay. Next is unregulated market. So, such markets are not controlled by any specific regulation. Government does not interrupt such market. There is less government control. For example, our economic system allows market force to regulate price, wages, etc. rather than government policy. How price is determined in our market? It depends on market force. What do you mean by market force? Market force means demand and supply of goods in the market. As all of you know, how price is fixed. When there is more supply, price will be less. When there will be less supply, scarcity, price of that product will increase. So in this way, price is determined by market force, not by the government. So there is less restriction in this market. The person who is producing goods is free to produce as per his capacity. He is free to select quantity, quality, what they want to produce, how they want to produce, when they want to produce, no restrictions from government side or any other organization's side. So these markets are quite free will market, no restrictions are here. Same way consumers are also free, whatever they want to demand, they can demand. There is no restriction of any kind. On the basis of competition, there are two markets, perfect competition and imperfect competition. Perfect competition is a situation where there are many buyers and many sellers in the market and all are selling homogeneous goods, which means goods which are identical in shape, size, color, taste, etc. Goods which are same in all these things. Here both the parties, that is buyer and seller, have perfect knowledge of market. That's why seller would not increase price because he has perfect knowledge of market. He knows that no buyer will buy goods at high price in such market. That's why one single price prevails in the market. Now let's see imperfect competition. There are 4 classification of imperfect competition, which are monopoly, duopoly, oligopoly and monopsony. Let's see what is monopoly. Where single seller, monopoly word is combination of 2 words, mono plus poly, which means single seller. So here single seller controls the whole market. In such market, no competitors are there, no close substitutes are available. In monopoly market, the monopolists, they can fix their own price. That's why they are called as price maker. For example, Apple Mobile. All of you know what is the price of Apple Mobile? It has unique operating system, making them special from other device. And because of this monopoly, the provider, they charge their own price. Okay. Next is duopoly. In duopoly, there are 2 sellers. As in monopoly, there are single seller. In duopoly, there are 2 sellers selling homogeneous products, same products. Both the seller enjoy a monopoly in their product. Okay, for example, smartphone. In case of smartphone, 2 categories are there. One is Apple, another is Android mobile. Both are having their monopolies, enjoying. Some are buying Apple mobile, some are buying Android phones. Same way, while doing electronic payment, 2 methods are there, MasterCard and Visa, and both are popular. So these are the example of duopoly. Let's come to oligopoly. In such market, there are few sellers and selling again homogeneous products. For example, automobile manufacturer, there are very less sellers in such industry. Cable TV service, in your area, how many cable operators are there? Not more. Few sellers, few providers are there. Airlines, computer and software industry, oil and gas, aluminium and steel. So in such industries, there are very less sellers and everyone is having their own monopoly, and that's why these are parts of oligopoly. Monopsony. Now see, it is a market where there is a single buyer. In above cases, we studied single seller, many seller, few seller, okay? But in monopsony here, we'll concentrate not on seller, but on buyer. So it is a market where there is a single buyer and many sellers of a commodity, which is seen in the railways. The best example of monopsony is railway. Railway is the sole buyer of a certain kind of rail products. Railway industry, they require certain products such as railway automotive machinery parts, rail wheel, railway trolleys, train parts, railway driver seat which has a particular structure. So railway is the sole purchaser of all these commodities, all these rail products. It means railway is a single buyer. But there are many sellers who are selling all above rail products. In monopsony, single buyer controls the whole market. Okay, goodbye students. Thanks for watching.